We head to the fourth quarter. 35-13, Utah State leading BYU. The final play of the third quarter, BYU's third turnover. And how did Jontrell Rocklemore, John, get such an open lane to the quarterback?
Well, you know, it's pressure coming from the outside. You're going to have two blitzes from the outside. Here's Rocklemore coming there, but the problem is the back picks up the outside guy, but the tackle doesn't go out to pick up Rocklemore. So watch the tackle look inside, and then he whiffs going back outside. Rocklemore's speed beats the tackle for the sack.
Bryant with a carry to start the fourth quarter. So Rocklemore tonight, 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. And he gets the sack, forced fumble, and recovery all on that last play of the third quarter.
And he missed Mangum a couple plays earlier, so he got the revenge and the turnover to boot.
Love goes far side and off the hands of his receiver. That's Savon Scarver, first time that the sophomore from Las Vegas has been targeted tonight. Another 30 passing yards for Love with his career high 4 TDs.
A lot more patience at the line of scrimmage by Jordan Love, getting his guys lined up as the play clock goes under 5.
Love stands tall, throws a strike, and it's complete to Jalen Green. First down up to the 32 of BYU.
Great protection, good eye discipline by the quarterback. He wanted to go over the middle, did Jordan Love, but he ends up going to the curl route to the short side of the field.
19-yard gain. Fakes the handoff to Bright. Finds Vaughns down the sideline. He keeps going. Touchdown. Nope, they're going to mark him out at the 15. Out at the 15.
Vaughns was moving on that RPO to the short side of the field, the run pass option. It's pitter patter. Does he step out of bounds? I don't know.
See it.
I don't know. I don't see it. I'm not sure he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
I don't think he ever did.
Utah State doesn't seem interested in trying to perhaps stop the clock. Let him take another look at this, but there's the snap, so it's a moot point now. Here's a handoff inside the 10, goes Bright. Let's take another look. Ooh, there's some little pushing and shoving at the end of that play, but
I don't think Vaughns ever steps out of bounds. He tight ropes this sideline. He never steps out of bounds. That's a great job. That was a touchdown.
we're told they can't take a look at it if
once they call him out of bounds.
Call him out of bounds.
But boy, that was a great job of staying in bounds by Arian Vaughns.
And once they consider the play dead, it's dead. Bright just pushing the pile, but before he got to the goal line, got pulled back by Trajan Peely.
This is a statement drive right here. This is where you get great field position. You're up 35-13, and you impose your will against a rival on the road.
Bright stopped short once again.
Ball came out there too, Mark. For a moment, this ball comes out.
It looked like Austin Lee came around and separated the football.
Isaiah Kafusi, number 53.
It was Kafusi from the outside and Lee from the inside that forced that fumble. We haven't seen Jordan Love keep the football on a zone read all night in the red zone. This might be an opportunity for him to do it.
He does just that. The crystal ball is working well in the fourth quarter.
Well, he has the ability to do it, and he's smart enough to know when to give it and when to take it out and use those legs in the red zone, and that's a weapon. Not only throwing it, but running the football. Just a great job of getting that carrot outside with the football, taking it himself.
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 10, offense. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Can't give the, what's that, the shush sign?
I think after throwing 4 touchdowns and running 1, you can do pretty much anything you want.
He just showed right there what he did. He hit the penalty on the sideline. Point after, and Utah State has made a lot of statements tonight. One is that offense is really potent. They've kept the crowd pretty quiet in Provo tonight. Welcome back to College Football Prime Time, presented by Hulu. A look at the old wagon wheel. Part of the rivalry between BYU and Utah State since 1948. It's been since the 1970s that the wagon wheel has stayed in Logan back-to-back years. Looks like that's going to happen in 2017 and 18. Got to go back to 1973-74. Last time Utah State won back-to-back games against BYU. Kifo from the 9. The old wagon wheel. We had Quinn on the streets yesterday. He asked some of the BYU students about their knowledge of the old wagon wheel.
You want info on the wagon wheel? You go to Tent City right outside the stadium.
It's the trophy they go for the game.
It's what we got to win. We got to bring the old wagon wheel back home to Provo.
I'm an antiques dealer. Where do I find an old wagon wheel?
An old wagon wheel? Just want a chuckarama. I don't think it's for sale.
So making a wagon wheel, you have to, first off, you have to form all of the spokes individually. Then to form the actual ring out of wood, you steam either like a long board.
Like you steam broccoli?
Kind of like you steam broccoli.
Q, you kill me, man. Steven, number one, how shocked were you when the young man actually was telling you how to actually build an old wagon wheel?
There are some very smart people on this BYU campus.
Oh, no.
I learned that yesterday.
Oh.
He must know you pretty well, though, Clint. You're always eating. You went right to the broccoli.
There's Shumway with a catch. He fights for a first down. Up near midfield.
The wagon wheel could use a little national campaign, though, because I think about all the trophy games that we're familiar with, mostly from the Big Ten.
Right.
The wagon wheel's been around for just as long, 1948. It's a trophy that's got significance for this region, obviously. I just think it needs a little more notoriety. It's gigantic, by the way, too. It weighs about 200 pounds. I had no idea. Is it the biggest trophy that's handed out amongst teams in college football?
It might be. It's glorious, Clint.
They don't let you roll it anymore either because of its age.
You can't roll it?
No, you're not allowed to.
Oh. It's good to know. Here's Mangum trying to get out of trouble. That's Colley. Was he out of bounds? Yes, he was not in bounds. Inside the 10.
Tanner Mangum's done a great job of extending plays tonight, giving his guys a chance. This time his momentum going to the right actually led the football a little bit out of bounds for where Colley couldn't make a play on the football. Sometimes when you roll to the right as a quarterback, that ball will go a little bit further to the right because of your momentum and sprinting out that way. That's one he'd like to have back because Colley was behind the Utah State defender.
I think that's called the vector.
Is that the vector, Victor? I was going to ask you more about your antiquing, but we'll save that for later. Dumps it underneath. There's the screen. Rapini. Katoa, loose ball, but BYU jumps back on it. I think Shaq Bond knocked it out.
The ruling in the field is that the runner was down before losing possession. Third down.
Just a play ago, you see the ball come out. May have been down. That right elbow may have hit the ground.
And that's what the officials ruled, so they spotted at the 46. Mangum gets away from Woodward, throws to the sideline incomplete.
That offense is going to have to stay on the field. Go for it here on fourth down, 4th and medium for BYU offensively.
4th and 6, line to gain right around the 40.
The most success Utah State has had defensively is when defensive coordinator Keith Patterson has brought an extra linebacker or a safety. Here it looks like dead man coverage. I would expect pressure again.
Mangum looking for Colley, incomplete, and BYU will turn it over on downs. Mangum took a shot after he delivered that pass by Gage Ferguson.
Pressure on 3rd down and 4th down has been the advantage for Utah State. This time it's Ferguson delivering the big hit on Mangum.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hulu. Watch your football games live all season long on your favorite channels, no cable required. And in part by Principal, investments, retirement, insurance.
Hey America, get to know the old wagon wheel. They know all about it here in the Beehive State of Utah. Just don't attempt to roll the wagon wheel. That's not allowed anymore.
No, don't pick it up. Throw your back out.
Utah State, Matt Wells, they won here a couple of years ago. Actually, it's been 4 years now, 2014, which ended a streak of 17 straight losses for the Aggies in Provo.
And it means something winning it back-to-back for Utah State, that's for sure. If they can close it out with just under 10 minutes left to go.
Thompson does the hurdle again. Man, is that guy fun to watch.
He is explosive. He's strong in between the tackles. And that 40-inch vertical, it's been on display tonight.
It's the second time in this game he's hurdled a BYU defender.
Wisely now, the Aggies on offense going to try to milk that play clock. Put together maybe a 50-yard drive here and end it with a score and take some time off the clock.
Comes to the near side, Thompson. And a first down, still fighting inside the 35, tackled by Chris Wilcox. Well, the Utah State team preseason in the Mountain West Conference Mountain Division, they were picked 4th behind Boise State, Wyoming, and Colorado State. Now they've got to go on the road to all 3 of those places eventually. So they got a tough schedule ahead, but they're hosting UNLV next week.
You can make the argument Utah State right now could be sitting undefeated.
Yeah.
You know, Michigan State on the road in that opener had every opportunity to win that game in the 4th quarter. Didn't get it done, but more confidence in a young quarterback in Jordan Love that's playing well. Two-headed monster in the backfield and defense that can heat you up on 3rd and long.
Lord Thompson. Corbin Kafusi, number 90, making the tackle for BYU.
The Aggies break every huddle by saying and chanting Mountain West champions. That is the only goal that this group has.
Well, they're playing like it. That's in reach. You know, that's a reality for head coach Matt Wells.
They've been to the Mountain West Conference title game one time, which was their first year in the conference in 2013. They won the WAC their last year in 2012. Remember Chucky Keefe, man, the quarterback?
That's right.
If he had stayed healthy, that's a guy that might have wound up in New York at a Heisman Award ceremony, but his knees would not allow that. So Utah State's had some good quarterbacks, no doubt about it, and Jordan Love is fitting in that mold.
I just like the way he plays the position. Nothing really rattled him tonight. He was able to keep his poise. The ball came out on time. He only missed a couple throws. You're going to miss a few. But I love the way he extends plays. In the red zone, he has that threat of running the football, and he takes charge in all the check with me's that happen in and around the line of scrimmage.
Career high 4 touchdown passes tonight and has not turned it over. Gerald Bryant. Well, still stayed on his feet. The whistle blew before he was finally pushed down at the 30.
Tackled by number 53, Isaiah Kafusi.
That's going to be 4th down.
Brings up 4th and 6.
Looks like they're going to give Dominic Eberle a chance. About a 46-yard attempt off the right hash. Eberle's long this year is 51. He kicked 3 51-yarders against New Mexico State. This one certainly has the distance, and he knocks that one through. Dominic Eberle adds to the lead, 45-13 Aggies.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
Now look at the AP Top 10. This is what's ahead this weekend. Hey, keep an eye on LSU Florida. I think that's going to be a closer game than most people realize.
Yeah. I think that Notre Dame Virginia Tech game is going to be one heck of a game and an atmosphere in Blacksburg. Oklahoma, Texas, State Fair in Texas. Game day will be out there. That's going to be exciting for those guys.
Utah State, 45-13. They're going to hang on to the old wagon wheel back-to-back years for the first time in 44 years. Defoe slips down shy of the 15. Q, your weekend's not finished yet. You got to head a little further west, right, man?
Yeah, interesting game tomorrow night. Utah at Stanford. We'll see about Bryce Love and his ankle. Stanford's offensive line really underperformed last week at Notre Dame, to say the least. 4 quarterback sacks they gave up, 5 hurries. Notre Dame got pressure on about 45% of their plays. So we'll see if David Shaw can clean things up for the Cardinal.
Hey, Q, while we got you, defensively, Utah State tonight. It's been kind of interesting what they've done. They've been a little different on third down. We've seen them, as Mangum here throwing on first down. Catch made at the 29. What have you seen from that defense down there tonight? They kind of played a little conservative on first and second down.
You know, 2 things that stood out watching the Aggies on tape is they love to blitz, and that their run defense at times so far this season has been substandard. And tonight that hasn't been the case. They've played more vanilla, and they've been stout against the run.
There's pressure put on, and a juggle incomplete. The 40, Matt Bushman.
You know, Quinn, I think it hurt BYU to have Canada out of the game, because he's one of those guys that could pound you and kind of lean on you for a game in the first quarter and kind of soften you up a little bit.
Well, you know, BYU, and talking to Jeff Grimes and Coach Satake earlier this year when I had their Arizona game, they said they want this program to be an offensive line-based program. Who are the young men that they can recruit? You know, what's their identity as a program? Like a Wisconsin, build it around your offensive line. But this group right now doesn't have the power to be considered, in that realm.
Catch by Collie. No, it's dropped. You know, we talked about how important Canada and Katoa were going to be. BYU has 14 rushing yards tonight, guys.
I know. And it's one of those things they wanted to lean on. Quint, we talked to the coaching staff yesterday. They wanted to start with the run, take some pressure off Mangum, and then ease into that passing game, and never got there.
No, let's remember, they won 4 games last year. At one time, they lost 7 in a row. So they've improved this year with wins at Arizona, wins at Wisconsin, but they're still not where they want to be.
And they really thought tonight was a game to kind of set them up through October. They don't have to leave Provo the entire month of October.
That's right.
Their schedule sets up. 3rd and long, dump up a screen pass, but misfiring, incomplete for Katoa. And they got Hawaii coming in next week, Northern Illinois, before they have to go to Boise State on November 3rd.
Yeah, this was a big game. This was almost a measuring stick game for BYU if they could handle business at home. And as you said, you have those home games coming up. You could kind of start running the table. Now you have to reevaluate, get some guys back healthy, get Canada back healthy, be able to hopefully have Tanner Mangum continue to play the way he's played the last couple of weeks, which is good enough to win if you're good around him.
Jones's punt Fair catch at the 36. Just over 6 minutes left for Utah State. Going to keep the old wagon wheel. Utah State's defense tonight, John, has forced 3 turnovers.
They've done a great job of setting the tempo. Nalei started it off with this interception and turning into a running back, and then the forced fumble over the middle. It was David Woodard who punches it out. Christiansen jumps on the football right in front of the BYU bench and set up perfect field position. And Jontrell Rockmore, he's been in to really frustrate the offense for BYU. So the forced turnovers on the season have been great tonight. 3 of them. Defensive touchdowns, you add 1 of those, and then tackles for loss per game. A lot of penetration in the Cougars' backfield.
El Toro Allen getting the carry. And a tackle for Taki.
There are a half dozen NFL scouts here on the field during warm-ups. They're all looking at number 16 in blue, Taki, trying to figure out what position he could play in the NFL. We've seen him play outside linebacker, inside. Today he's played middle linebacker. 16 is a playmaker.
Boy, he really is. He's got the speed to be outside. I'm not so sure if he has the size, but you know, you take a look around the league. Kiko Alonso for the Miami Dolphins has a very similar build as does Taki, and he plays the middle and can play outside as well.
Allen trying to stretch it to the edge, turns upfield, gets hit at the 41. And Trajan Peely. Well, here's Utah State, the 32-point lead. So Aggie fans are probably thinking, where does this sit in the annals as far as decisive wins?
In this series, yeah.
And you really have to go back to 1960 when Utah State shut out BYU 34-0. Rolling out left, Love finds the open man underneath. And that's where Terrell is dropped. 4th down. Shelton back to receive the punt for BYU. Let's see a line drive punt. Taken at the 16 by Shelton. Taken down at the 22. Utah State with the big lead late. What's been your biggest takeaway tonight? Has it been Jordan Love, the play of the quarterback for the Aggies?
I think it's been that. I think the way he plays the position of quarterback, the way he has a general feel for this offense and what he can do with distributing the football. You can't really key on the running game. You don't really know who to attack on the outside. 18 of 28 for 165 and 4 touchdowns. So I think that has been a major factor in the game and them really dominating Brigham Young. But on defense, I really like the turnovers and the aggressiveness on 3rd down. I was surprised with the ease of being able to force Tanner Mangum around and really frustrate him in the offensive backfield.
Zach Wilson now in as the quarterback, so he replaces Mangum for BYU, and he completes to Matt Bushman for a 14-yard gain. There's Zach Wilson, the freshman. He really gave Mangum a run for the starting job in the fall camp.
He did, and he's one of those guys that has an explosive right arm. He plays with a lot of confidence, and that's one of the things they're trying to temper. Maybe not forcing the football into those tight windows, but that's sometimes the way you learn. You got to play and see how well it goes on the field.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Mangum tonight was 27 of 46.
And he was harassed the entire evening. I mean, this is a guy that ran for his life and tried to make plays down the field when he could, but he was definitely pushed off of his spot in that offensive backfield.
270 passing yards for Mangum with 2 TDs. And the 1 pick. And there's the quarterback, Zach Wilson, taken off. That gives the Cougar crowd a thrill. A nice run by the freshman quarterback all the way to the Utah State 42, a 27-yard gallop.
Well, offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes said he had a strong arm. We didn't know he could move like this in the open field. That's a good shake and bake right about at midfield and gets a big gain there for this offense. So a nice run, a good ad-lib by the young quarterback.
By the way, the 46 pass attempts tonight for Mangum, the most he's attempted in a game since his freshman year.
Yeah, they were forced into throwing the football. They had success. You know, midway through that second quarter, BYU offensively, they were going down the field, down the middle of the field, and completing a lot of passes in a lot of tight windows, and they just ran out of steam. That momentum, I think that drive for Utah State to open up that third quarter really slammed the door on any comeback opportunity.
Mangum attempted 53 passes in a game his freshman year against UConn, and taking a shot, Zach Wilson broken up inside the 10, and a flag. Shumway, the intended receiver, and Fortenberry looks like he's going to get the PI.
Pass interference, number 27, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I would say, guys, if there's one thing that defensive coordinator Keith Patterson is going to correct this week, it's cornerbacks turning their head and locating the football, because in a tight football game down the stretch, and they're rolling as a team right now, you have to be able to stay away from those pass interference penalties that continue to keep drives alive.
Wilson. The pass is caught at the 8. Talon Shumway's had a good second half.
This is a good adjustment by Shumway on the outside. It was a back shoulder throw intentionally, but it was a little bit outside of the frame, and Shumway's able to stretch out and make the catch.
These fans suddenly have a new favorite quarterback off the bench. The new face always offers so much hope.
That's right. Most popular guy on the team, Quint.
Wilson right down at about the 8. All right, Justice Tay. Wilson's dad played at Utah. His numbers coming into this game was 1 for 2 for 12 yards.
You can tell he feels comfortable. Just his mannerisms and the way he handles himself, he's going to get his opportunities here at Brigham Young.
25 passing yards here, and then we'll add to that, but a flag comes flying. Wilson still running around out at the 12, went sliding out. Tell you what, the grass is pretty thick here, so you can slide a while on the grass here.
It is true.
Holding, number 4, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
You know, they always tell you every play when you're a young quarterback, it's a teaching experience, a learning curve that you want to be able to overcome. On that play, I'm sure offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes is going to tell him, throw the football away. Just throw it away. You're out of the pocket. Don't take the loss there. Because in a game that might mean something down the stretch when you're playing, you're losing field position in the red zone.
I can make every play.
Yes, you can, Quint.
Fresh out of high school, where I make every play.
Comes to the near side. Gunnar Romney inside the 5. Touchdown. There's the first touchdown pass in the career of Zach Wilson. And for Gunnar Romney, his first touchdown reception in his career.
Boy, really nice job, run after catch. Exciting for two young guys to hook up on a touchdown. That's the future for Brigham Young on offense right there.
A first for both Zach Wilson and Gunnar Romney. Skylar Southam's point after. And it's 45-20.
Really nice job by Zach Wilson of getting the ball out on time, getting it in a spot where Gunnar Romney can do something with it, and then eluding two defenders from Utah State in the open field to get in for his first college touchdown. There's the excitement of a young quarterback. Get in there, man. That was a nice little easy throw for his first touchdown.
So a little something for the BYU fans to smile about.
They're going to have to get back to work next week because the schedule doesn't get a whole lot easier at 3-3. You have to be able to find some wins down the stretch. And the good thing is, as you said earlier, they're at home, Mark, for the next 3 weeks, I believe it was.
Yeah, they have an off week mixed in there, but they have Hawaii next week, then a week off week, then Northern Illinois before they hit the road November 3rd at Boise State. Minute 14 to go. The onside kick. Flag, I think one of the BYU players was offside, but it was gathered by Bright. They got the hands guys up there.
Offside, number 90 on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty will be added on to the spot of the recovery. First down, Utah State.
Hey, tonight after Kings Warriors on ESPN, join Linda and Stan from LA. They'll show you how Kevin Durant, Brianna Stewart, Marty Smith spent the day in Seattle. Key moments, game 1, Yankees, Red Sox, and all 4 playoff baseball games. And the deciding factors, Khabib and McGregor Saturday night, UFC 229. Sports Center after Sacramento Golden State on ESPN, also on the ESPN app.
A lot of good baseball playoff games. There's a lot to be seen tonight.
No, that is not a player that's gone into the stands. That gentleman who wears the uniform has been there since before the game started.
Pre-game.
Yeah.
That's right. I came away impressed with Utah State tonight. I really didn't know what to expect defensively, but I did know that Jordan Love was going to put on a pretty solid performance. He was going to be crisp in his decisions and deliveries, and this is a really good moment for head coach Matt Wells on the sidelines. Back-to-back wins against a rival in decisive fashion.
Utah State's now 7-0 after a bye week under Matt Wells, and they're also 4-1 to start the season for the first time under Matt Wells. Hey, they're rolling the old wagon wheel.
Oh, be careful. Be careful.
Cue.
The wood is brittle. I was told not to roll the wheel.
Yeah, Clint, you rolled it by yourself.
You don't lift it up by yourself. It weighs about 200 pounds.
There we go.
The old wagon wheel, in one way or another, is going to be rolled, driven, carried back to Logan, Utah for the second straight year.
Great time for celebration for Matt Wells and his football team. They were dominant in all 3 facets tonight.
Definitely a dominating performance tonight for Utah State. They win it over BYU 45-20. Sports Center coming up next. That's going to take care of things from here. For John Kajimi, Quint Kesnick, as well as our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. Good night from Provo.